Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to another brand new episode, kicking off your 2023 with a brand new episode featuring returning guest Joe Bizelli and Ken Hall. Had a lot of fun catching up with these guys, great buddies of mine, and it's been a while since we sat down. We did record this a little bit ago over the holidays. Joe was in town, and we had a lot of fun, just like I said, catching up and hanging out. And you can come see Ken live at Focal Point in St. Louis, Missouri, over in Maplewood area on January 25th, a part of the Songbird Cafe over there with Taylor Steele, another returning or past guest of the show. So check that out. January 25th, Focal Point, Maplewood, Missouri. Go see Ken live. And of course, you can find Joe Bizelli playing all over Nashville if you're in the Nashville, Tennessee area. And I'll be sure to follow along with them both on Facebook for more info. And do want to remind you, as always, Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri, serving up all your craft beer needs. Over 25 rotating taps out there, so come out there and enjoy some of their tasty beverages, and you can get some great food, burgers and nachos and pretzels, flatbread pizzas, salads, all kinds of tasty eats, and you can hear some great live music on the weekends. On Thursday, they've been doing a Singo Bingo out there. So that's Thursday, January 5th, Singo Bingo night. And on Friday, January 6th, Matt Waltershed returns. And on Saturday, January 7th, Steve Kyle. Find more information about food, music, and beer and all things Friendship Brewing Company at friendshipbrewingcompany.com, and follow along with them on your Facebook and Instagram. And if you are in the Hannibal, Missouri area, Friendship Brewing is coming to you, opening up a brand new location in the Hannibal, Missouri area. So be sure to keep an eye out for more info coming soon on that. Again, Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri. Come on out and have a good time. All right. If you need anything from me, you can always find me at rockpaperpodcast.com. Hit me up on the socials. Email me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And thanks again for a wonderful 2022. I'm so excited to see what this year has in store for us. So thanks for being along on this ride with me. I appreciate you all, whether it's your first time or you've been a long-time fan. Thanks for being here with me. With that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy this brand new episode with Joe Bizelli and Ken Hall.
The podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hi, I'm Kenny Lee Hall.
And I'm Joe Bizelli, and you're listening to the Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Yeah.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri, hanging out with a couple of returning guests, Joe Bizelli and Kenny Hall. welcome back, guys.
Well, thanks for having us.
Very happy to be returning again.
Yeah, this is always one of my favorite parts of the show. Just getting a good excuse to hang out with some buddies and who happen to be great songwriters and brought some guitars. And it's just always fun to get to spend some time to hang out and catch up. So thanks for doing this with me, guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure's all ours. Do you want to tell the listeners where you were right before this?
I went to see another friend of mine, Santa Claus. Yeah.
Oh, man, long trip.
Took my pups to see Santa Claus so they could tell Santa what they wanted for Christmas.
I thought that was adorable.
Yep.
Hey, Bo, don't listen. You're not going anywhere, buddy. We ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, we do have a special guest, Bo the dog, hanging out.
Bo the dog is hanging out today.
Yeah, it was fun.
Were they good this year?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're good little girls. Sometimes, but no, it was fun. We've taken them up there to get pictures with the Easter Bunny and all the hits. So it's always an experience to go up there and take a couple dogs into the PetSmart, and when there's every other person with their dogs in there too. So it's always makes for an interesting afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see that picture.
Yeah.
Did you dress them up? Did they
we put their Christmas collars on.
That's kind of.
We have sweaters for them, but we didn't put those on today. So, but yeah, they have they're coordinated in their Christmas collars and leashes.
nice?
Beautiful.
Yep.
I am partial to the reindeer ears on dogs.
Yeah.
And with some jingle bells. That is kind of cool.
Yeah, makes me.
I mean, I wouldn't go over the top with, like dressing them up and spend. Actually, it's just because I'm cheap. I wouldn't buy sweaters for them.
whole outfit, just the headgear.
But if I can get headgear at Goodwill or something, I'd throw a set on them.
Right.
He'd chew them up.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they don't do. Maybe for a moment, like snap a quick picture, but
Yeah.
they don't do well with like anything on there. They don't like the headband stuff or anything like that. They're like, no, get this off me.
It's not natural.
Yeah, right. So anyway, yep, that was my afternoon, and now I get to hang out with you guys. So
Good fun.
Joe is home for the holidays. Drove in from Nashville, Tennessee, to be here with us today for just to record this podcast and.
Leaving right back out the west to
yeah.
head back down. No, I'm here for the holidays.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they got to do this. I've been having a lot of fun down there, but I also have a lot of fun up here too.
Yeah.
It's like I have two homes.
Right.
So I finally have found like my tribe of people down there, people that I want to write with and hang out with. And then I leave here and I come and hang out with my family and friends here too.
Yeah, man.
So it's I'm pretty lucky.
What I know you've been down there a while now, and I see you're getting featured on some different rounds and everything else, which always makes me laugh when I just love seeing. I mean, maybe not laugh, but I
thought you were laughing at me.
No, but I'm I love when I see the posters and I see that you're out there, working and doing it and getting to be included in all this stuff. But it just makes me proud. That's what not laugh. I shouldn't say that.
So
It's
proud.
proud laughter.
It's like makes me smile. That's what that's what I was trying.
Well,
to
his promo posters are epic.
Right. Yeah. Well, you always do. Yeah. Those are the laugh parts of it when you're dressing your guitar up and your wedding dresses and stuff.
Yeah.
I think those photos may have gone about as far as they need to go. I think everybody gets it. They get what I'm going for, and I'm going to do a new set. I think where I haven't asked Isabel Gray about this yet, but she has some new photos out that are like kind of, sultry, sexy a little bit with her guitar, and I think I'm going to do mimics of like people that I know down there. Shots that the girls do, no guys. Shots that the girls do that are more, a little more risque with me, only with me and my guitar dressed up like them. So I haven't asked her yet, but I'm going to ask her about that. I don't want to do any more pregnancy photo shoots. People think it's weird, I think.
I get a kick out of them all. But yeah, getting it's just fun, man. I love seeing you doing your thing down there and getting working your way around the town. And
Thanks.
but do you have is there like a particular moment for you in particular, like so far that you're like, this is it, man. I'm doing it. Like,
there's a bunch of little moments
Right.
like that. Like, for example, on Thursday, I got a call, and this is on the hush hush, so don't tell anybody. But I got a call from a guy who I co-wrote a song with that Kenny and I started writing together, and then I finished it with this guy. And it's getting pitched to an artist at Black River, which is a record label. So just little things like that happen that keep you going. And then you'll try and get into a bigger round than you were in before and play with people that you want to play with that you haven't played with. So that's kind of what it's been. I didn't know any better when I went down there, but it's like trying to play those more high-level songwriter rounds is what I'm trying to do now.
Yeah.
And so putting out all those pictures and saying that I'm playing is just for all the writers down there to know, hey, this guy's, busy. It's working.
Yeah.
So.
And I know you and brother Joe were doing a lot of cool stuff together during the live streams during the pandemic and things. I know we I don't think we've hung out really since all that, but talking about it on here. But right. It was cool to see that too. And then now he's like, then he kind of had like that viral success with that Garth Brooks tune. And,
yeah, him and a girl, A.L. is her stage name. And Rachel is the one who made the arrangement on the piano. And they made that video. They wrote that in like 45 minutes and figured it out and then shot that video in like an hour at that theater. And then it goes and gets like millions of views. Garth Brooks even commented on it. Like it's pretty cool to see that happen.
So shout out to brother Joe getting a little spotlight there. That was really. I watched that Garth live thing that he did.
The reaction,
and that was like, I'm like, hey man, that's cool to get on their radar.
Yeah, when Garth gives you a compliment like that, like that's a big deal.
All right.
But yeah, you never know who you're going to run into or cross paths with down there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I still go out songwriter hunting. Like I'll go out and if somebody like plays something that like makes an impression, I'll go up and be like, hey, I like your stuff. What's up?
I like your moves.
Yeah, I like the way you move.
What about you, Kenny? We haven't got to...
Yeah, enough about me.
Yeah.
Well, what am I doing? Let's see. Well, this is my domain here you're looking at. This is my world.
We haven't been in this room in a couple of years. I feel
Been a
like,
few years, yeah. I had to look back and see when that was, but it was definitely pre-pandemic.
Well, the workbench was probably out in the garage at that point.
I think the workbench was out in the garage at the time. A buddy of mine... his family situation changed and he brought all of his woodworking stuff over here and I moved the bench inside, which was good because then I can, work through the winter and still working on guitars and, modifying stuff and not leaving stuff alone. And so as far as the music scene, I'm doing, I played all the farmers markets that I could all summer and just about anywhere anybody would want me. I have no...
Even some places they didn't.
Even places where they didn't. Yeah, they dragged me out, pitched me out. But, just having a lot of fun doing it. Meeting, the bigger thing, I think, for me is not to move, I don't know, for lack of a better term, up the ladder or whatever, getting... And that's a good thing, and you're built for it, and your stuff is there, man. It's there. They just have to find you.
Don't start talking good about me, because I told you I wasn't going to sit here and talk about how much I love you as a person and how great of a writer I think you are. So don't start in on me.
Keep going.
I will fire it right back at you. You're my favorite Luther.
All right. I'll tone it down. On the Joe. No Joe compliments. But yeah, my thing is just I love writing. Having a great time doing it. I've been cranking out a lot of stuff, and I take it out to the open mics and just try it out for fun. And, something somebody said one time made a lot of sense to me. I heard somebody say, you're probably going to have we're going up and we're coming in.
It's all part of the experience.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say one time that what I do is not for everybody, but it's for somebody.
I would agree.
And when I get, I do run across that 3 or 4 or 5 people every time I play who just really dig what I do. And so that's enough. For me, that's good enough.
Yeah, I don't need the whole room. I just need a few people.
I was invited to play out at a adult daycare center. And
I bet they ate that up.
It was so much fun.
I told you, you got to get on the retirement home circuit. Yeah. It's an just untapped market.
Yeah. Well,
I actually recorded one of these in a retirement home with Matt Kennan, who that's what he was doing at the time. he was playing at a retirement home, and I thought that was really cool. Like providing some entertainment for those folks. And
yeah, my mom used to work at Caregivers Inn, which is on Bryan Road, and when I started playing out, I went up there and just not even as a gig, just volunteered to play for like an hour because that's the most captive, best, most thankful audience you will ever play in front of because they don't have a lot of entertainment people that come in there. And that was one of my favorite gigs because it was just really rewarding.
Yeah.
Felt good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's what it's all about. Like just, giving back and, putting a smile on somebody's face like that.
Sometimes they fall asleep. And I don't take it personal.
Yeah.
It means they're just tired.
We played at a nursing home one time. I played in with a couple of guys who are doing contra dance tunes. And it was, so it's like old time fiddle stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of fun, and we'd go play there. My grandma was in the nursing home, so we'd go once a month or so and play. And several times this woman would come up, and she said, "Oh, I play fiddle. I want to play with you." And we're like, "Okay, yeah." She goes, "Well, I'll have my family bring my fiddle up, and it's like, "Okay, great." And so one day, she's like, "The family's here and they have my fiddle. Can I play?" I go, "Yeah." "How long's it been since you played?" She goes, "Oh, I don't know, 20 years. She was kind of with it and kind of not.
Yeah.
And I said, "Sure, what the heck?" She got up there and just tore it up.
Murdered.
Just tore it up.
I don't know if I can still...
Yeah, exactly. And we were all just like, yeah, it was so much fun. But yeah, that's the good stuff.
You don't expect it.
Yep. Yep, a lot of fun.
So I since I have you guys both here, and I know you guys have been friendly for quite a while, and then I think that's actually how I met Kenny was when I was doing my songwriter showcase, and Joe played. I think he gave up one of his songs.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
And I think that's the night we all met.
Easy call.
Yeah, and I think Kenny played almond milk song.
I probably did.
And it was a hit for sure. And but I guess what I'm asking though is like, where does your guys' relationship? Where do you guys officially first meet at and become buds?
I started thinking about that on the way here, and I can't remember the first actual time that we met. It's just always been.
I remember seeing you at an open mic, and I don't know if it was up here, if it was at the Wolf, or if it was up here in St. Charles at Picasso's. But I remember meeting you there.
It might have been Picasso's.
And then we had talked about maybe doing something together, and we bounced an idea back and forth about a bonfire or a fire or something.
Bonfire for two.
Bonfire for two, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of bounced that thing back and forth. And
I just wish I had recognized your genius sooner. It took me a little while to come around.
no, I think you fully knew my genius.
That's why.
I think you didn't know anything about me, and that was pretty accurate. So yeah, we and then it was like I think you had said I'll get back with you, and then there was weeks go by or whatever, and then as an insecure songwriter you go, yeah, he's moving on or whatever.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
And then we got booked for. We got asked to play at the Songbird together.
That's what it was.
And that was the first time that we... And after that...
I was like, oh my God.
It was a magical night.
I've been sleeping on this guy.
The crowd was good. It was just a lot of fun.
And I got to hear some more of your songs. And once I heard your Jesus song, I was like, that's the type of writer that I want to surround myself with. People that write stuff like that.
Thanks.
So that's when you got stuck with me, whether or not you knew it.
Yeah, well, I love being stuck with you. So here's a funny story. One of the times that I knew that Joe was the cream of the crop, as they say. Well, many instances, but I was sitting out in front of Naked Vine one time, getting ready to go in, and I knew that Joe stepped out. I didn't know he was going to be there, and I think it was at your showcase.
I was smoking.
Yeah,
outside.
And he stepped out on the sidewalk. And I saw him, and I thought, here's what I'm going to do. I called him.
And I didn't see him in the parking lot. So.
And I said, hey, man, I am in a fix. I need you. And immediately he's like, all right, where you want me when? And he got ready to leave.
Put out my cigarette, ready to go.
Like, ready to roll.
Yeah.
And I thought, now that's the dude. He could have went, oh, man, I'm cleaning my mom's, I'm cutting my mom's grass or whatever.
I had done that already before that day, so I couldn't use that again.
You had the guilt, overlaid guilt that you couldn't do it twice in one night. I doubt it.
But yeah, I didn't even question the fact that I was somewhere. It was just like, okay, where do I need to go?
Yeah. And at that
Because you do
point,
the same for me. I know you would. Same with you, Shane.
Yeah, I would, Joe. I would.
When I was like, hey, you want to do a podcast together? Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling that. That makes me feel good.
Well, that's the kind of human you are. You're just...
I got really good parents and good family.
You do.
So
You have
I think
wonderful family.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
I even have I consider a lot of my friends part of my family too.
Well, I went down to Nashville to see Joe one time, and he was playing at the where was he
The
playing?
local.
The
My
local.
first time playing at the local, you drove all the way down there
Drove
for
down
one
overnight
set.
to see him, and then came back the next morning because I really wanted to go.
I will never forget that.
But here's the thing: when you go someplace where Joe is, then there's a steady stream of people who are coming by, and recognizing Joe, and hey Joe, and hey Joe, and hey Joe. And
I've been trying to get out there a lot.
And he's you're not only. Last time. This is the last time I'm saying anything nice about you.
Okay, because I got something ready for you.
All right, you're not only. Well, I'll tone it down a little bit. You're all right.
I appreciate that.
And other people recognize it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about you. You're my favorite luthier in the whole world.
I'm your only one on earth.
The only one I trust. But yeah, I remember the way that made me feel to know that somebody would drive from Missouri to Tennessee for one set of me playing was very powerful. I'll never forget it.
Well, you know what? There was a benefit. I don't know if I told you this, but there was a benefit to that whole trip that is life lasting for me. I have tinnitus, and so for a while I was kind of got tired of being out because restaurants, if a listening room is okay, but anywhere where there's lots of noise, my ears just ring.
Like the local.
It was all miserable. But driving down, I knew that my ears were going to bother me because the frequency of the tires on the highway. I can't listen to the radio when I drive. And
Sorry.
Well, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So on the way down, I've tried a lot of different things and seen, different experts and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, on the way down, I thought, I'm just going to make peace with this thing. And so I gave it a name, and I think I called it Herman. And I said, hey, Herman, it's you and me. If you're going to hang around, this is what we're doing.
We're still going to the shows. We're still going to listen to music.
So every time it would pop up, I'd just go, well, thank God you're back because I missed you, And something in my brain allowed me to then tolerate. So it doesn't, for whatever reason, it's still, my ears still ring.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it's like, oh, okay. And
Are they ringing right now?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like cicadas. It's not it's like
I'm sorry about that, buddy.
But it's not as
away.
bad as some people have. Some people have it where it keeps them up at night. Mine doesn't do that.
If I could take it away from you, I would.
Well, thanks, Joe. See, that's the kind of guy Joe is.
Yeah.
And there is a new procedure. It's called Give Your Tinnitus to Joe.
You'll swap around.
I do have an appointment set up for us.
Where and when?
Yeah. I knew it.
Compliment fight.
Could be worse, sir.
Oh, I forgot to show you this, Shane.
Oh. Hey.
That's me
Hey,
unzipping
check
my
it
jacket
out.
to show off my Rock Paper Podcast shirt.
Show it to the mic.
Yeah.
Why did I move it towards the mic? Oh, and I have a surprise for you. In that bag right there, I brought a little something.
Oh, yeah?
For us to enjoy or you to enjoy. It's an offering to the podcast gods, if you will.
And you wrapped it?
Yeah, wrapped it in a quick trip bag. It's all snacks, all different kinds of snacks.
We got, I'll show it to the microphone
Yeah,
too.
go to the mic.
We got some Sour Patch Kids. We got some pepperoni pizza combos
They have regular cheddar, but they're just not as good.
filling made with real cheese.
Yeah, made with. That's not what goes into it.
Made here.
We got some Chips Ahoy.
Chewy, not the crunchy ones.
Yeah, get out of here, crunchies.
I like the chewy ones. That's my favorite.
Some classic Dunkaroos.
Where do you see those anymore?
Well, I work in an elementary, so
Every day.
yeah.
I don't see them that.
They just recently really made a comeback.
Push them back.
I don't know that they were being produced for a long time.
That's probably why.
But or maybe I was just unaware. And then but yeah, I just the other day I laughed because like I guess they had like a birthday party in the classroom or whatever, and so like every kid had Dunkaroos, and so like the trash can just like full of Dunkaroo trash and stuff. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, somebody had a good party in here.
Yes, they're back now.
Yeah. And last but not least, some pistachios.
Something healthy.
Yeah.
So this is a shout out to Ryan Mills out in the fall. We got snacks, bro. We got snacks.
Yeah. Well,
in your honor.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe, for providing some snacks for us.
The least I could do. Thank you for doing everything that you do. Mr. 2 years away from 10 years of podcasting.
Yeah.
That's 8 years.
Yeah.
Carry the 2.
Wow, okay, yeah, it is. Wow.
Yeah, we, May 2014 started this thing, so, yeah.
It's really just grown out of control. There's 41 people on your list of people playing tonight. And I don't think there's a lot of people who wouldn't know where the music is if it weren't for your stuff. So please just bask in that for a second.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
I'm happy to help. Yeah, I'm just, trying to do my part.
The mayor of St. Louis music scene.
That's it.
Period.
Yeah, we got to come up with a big old blowout party or something for 10 years for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be epic.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a field party.
Yeah.
Huge bonfire, a trailer stage. I mean, hay bales to sit on. Maybe that's just the new melody coming out of me.
Yeah. I was going to say
don't worry about the cops. We're out in the field.
Yeah. Man, I haven't really done a good field party in a long time. That was
those were the days.
We used to. So growing up, I lived in Wentzville, a little just up the road from Joe there in New Melly, and we where my house was, there was like a big field, kind of common ground sort of thing in between a bunch of our houses, and we would throw big bonfire parties up there. And I remember one year, like, we threw everything on this fire, just like we had couches and all kinds of stuff, and like railroad ties and whatever. And then people were like, let's make some s'mores. Like, you don't want to do that. No, not this
with that treated wood and the fabric and paint.
Yeah, who knows what's in there. And
tastes funny.
But yeah, this is like, and of course we're all like sitting back like 50 feet because it's just,
so
blazing. And but I remember one time we could hear the fire trucks like circling around, but they couldn't figure out how to get to like
behind the houses in between.
Like the fire was so big that somebody thought somebody's house was on fire. Like, and I mean, I kind of felt bad that we wasted their time, but about that part. But it was like we were just country kids having a good time, and that's what we did on the weekend.
And I'm sure they understand it. They probably did the same thing too.
All right, but we I just remember having the boombox up there and crank it up and dancing around all night to some tunes, and those were some fun nights and some core memories for sure. Haven't had those were. It's been a while since I had a good field party like that. So.
Maybe it's the 10-year anniversary field party. I'm just throwing it out there for consideration. I'll start scouting out some fields.
I do have an old couch that we're trying to get rid of.
Hey, we already got the first couch.
Want to burn her down.
Yeah.
Can I make a request that can maybe play us a song?
Yeah, I think it's time put him on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
You pick. I got one.
So. I was trying to think of what I had played last time, because I didn't want to.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try not to do any repeating either.
Yeah, but who knows? So. So this is not a true story.
This is a great song, though.
Not a true story, but it is.
It's based on a true story.
It is based on a true story, because I'm hard. Speaking of hearing, I'm hard of hearing, and so sometimes people say things that I misconstrue. And one Valentine's Day, my wife Kim, I said, I mentioned something about Valentine's, and I'm not a big present guy. I'm not a big gift giving guy. Yeah, I don't fill a bag full of snacks and give it to anybody. So. But anyway, I said, what do you want for your Valentine's Day? And she said, just write me a song. And I thought she said she wanted a thong. Yeah. So anyway.
That's how this song was
that's
born.
how this song came out. Oh, darling, sweet darling, you knew when you married me that shopping for clothes was not my thing. But darling, sweet darling, the one thing that carried me was all those funny little songs I'd sing. Darling, sweet darling, for Valentine's Day, I did not write a melody for you. You said that's all you wanted, but I misunderstood, and I got you something else. I hope that this'll do. I thought you said you wanted a thong. I picked it out myself, I hope I wasn't wrong. I can't take it back, I already tried it on. I thought you said you wanted a thong. The young girl's name was Heather. She suggested leather. She asked me what size did I want. What difference does it make if you're a 2 or you're an 8 when all it's really gonna cover is the front? I smiled and said embarrassed. I thought she said I'm embarrassed, and pretty soon I was embarrassed too. I should have kept my mouth shut instead of telling Heather I only dream about your butt, 'cause that's not really true. I thought you said you wanted a thong. I picked it out myself, I hope I wasn't wrong. Oh, I can't take it back, I already tried it on. I thought you said you wanted a thong. I might have stretched it out a bit, it was a little snug. I'd understand if you want something else. I hate to see it go to waste. If it's okay with you, I think I'm gonna keep it for myself. I thought you said you wanted a thong. I picked it out myself, I hope I wasn't wrong. I can't take it back, I already tried it on. I thought you said you wanted a thong.
G-string.
G-string.
Oh, that's so good.
How about that?
See? You see why I like them so much? Okay, that's all I'm going to say. But except anybody, not anybody, almost anybody can write a song about a truck. They can write a song about breakups. They can write a song of love. Not just everybody can do that. So that's why I'm drawn to your songwriting.
Not just everybody wants to do that.
Well, they should.
Well, they should. Let's leave no stones unturned.
Oh, that's so good. Clever.
Well, thank you.
So what she think?
What does she think?
Of the song?
I don't think I want to say on record. I don't think I want a recording of what she thought.
Can we see the thong? Do you have it here?
Well, as a matter of fact, Joe,
You're wearing it.
I have it on.
How many songs have you heard
she
about
thought
thongs?
it was okay. She's, it's funny because Kim has been at a lot of my shows, and a lot of my songs are about relationship stuff, and some of it, some of the people have asked her, is he, you mind him singing all these songs about you? And she said, he's not singing about me. He's singing about you. This is common to all of us. It's not just me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she's right. It's just, relationship stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm guilty of it too. But I think
Wearing a thong?
Yeah. Well, that's where I was going. But you get, I guess that's just what being a great songwriter, that you are able to deliver this message that, is so believable or whatever at times where people like, that's got to be a true story or whatever, even though it is fictional thing we made up or whatever. Just a funny song or a story to go into the fits and stuff. But I do think that maybe that's I think it's more of a compliment than people realize, that you're conveying this message so well that people believe these got to be true.
Mm-hmm.
But songwriters are just storytellers in a sense. Like, I mean, sometimes these are based on a true event, or sometimes they're just embellished off of something though. So
the embellished part.
But
in this case, it was probably easy for him to write because it is a true story. But
right.
in other songs, I'm just kidding.
Well, the only part about the song really, the Heather part was not true. I don't know what her name was. It could have been Mabel.
But it didn't rhyme with leather.
It did not rhyme with leather, right?
It just doesn't work.
All right, how about you, Joe?
Pull us out one.
You got one for us?
I'm going to do one of the most recent ones I wrote by myself. So, probably about 2 months old. And a girl that I go out with a lot down in Tennessee, she's a songwriter too. We go to a lot of rounds together and go out and watch people play together a lot. And she was out of town. She was in her hometown for like a week and a half. And this song came out. And it's in G, so if you ever feel like. It's called Not Around. I don't really like this town when you're not around. Music doesn't sound the same as it does when we're out. Hey, I'm still having fun, just not the same amount. 'Cause I don't really like this town when you're not around. I don't really drink a lot of beer when you're not here. It's just not as fun when there's no one to cheers. And I keep watching the door, hoping you'll appear. So I don't really drink a lot of beer when you're not here. Take it. I don't really roll a lot of J's while you're away. Okay, that's a lie, but for real they don't hit the same. And rolling just for one feels a little lame. So I don't really roll a lot of J's while you're away. I don't really like this town when you're not around. Music doesn't sound as good as it does when we go out. Hey, I'm still having fun, just not the same amount. 'Cause I don't really like this town when you're not around. I don't really like this town when you're not around. I don't really like this town when you're not around. Thank you. Good night. Yeah, we love you, Dark Continent. Good night.
That's a good one.
Thanks. It's it's not complicated. Just simple. That's how I felt at that time.
That's what they say. Write about what you know.
Yeah.
That's what
It's hard.
they
It's
say.
easier than writing about what you don't know. I think.
Yeah.
You got to make it up.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
I know a lot about what I don't know.
Yeah. I think I might.
I've
know
studied
more.
the things I never get anywhere. I don't even know where to look for what I don't know.
Yeah, that one seems to go over well just because it's got alcohol references and marijuana. Oh, congratulations, by the way, Missouri and the legalization. That's going to be cool.
I thought you were saying that for me. I'm like,
Yeah, you pointed at him. I was like,
I meant you. As
you
a
had
Missouri
something to do with that, Shane?
yeah, you're welcome.
Dude,
Did that petition?
you are a hero.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes.
It'd be interesting. I've heard people who are like, oh no, now everybody's going to be walking around stoned. And they go, everybody's walking around stoned now. You just don't
They
know.
just have to buy it not legally.
All right.
Yeah, pretty
Sorry, I don't know how controversial you want to get on this podcast.
I'll allow it. Okay, yeah. It was just funny. So I went to see El Monstero last night with my mother-in-law, and there's maybe some things used recreationally at shows sometimes.
Sure.
And as we were leaving the show, there was a funny smell coming down the sidewalk, and she made a comment about it that saying like, man, everybody's smoking weed, and I'm like, St. Louis has got bigger problems to worry about than whether somebody's smoking a joint or something like. It's like I was like, as long as you're not like bothering anybody or something. But I was like, it's decriminalized in the city, so even it's not necessarily legal yet, but it's decriminalized. So, but we're getting there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. I used to get it a lot when I worked at the bar, when I like people like trying to smoke on the patio, and I'm like, hey, I was like, just go step out across the street. Like, and nobody cares. You just can't do it in the bar.
Yeah, right here on the patio.
Yeah. So,
but then you have like the swag play there.
Yeah.
Like, you kick everybody out.
Right. Yeah. It was fun. Like, it was funny too. Like on the night, there were certain nights where certain groups would come in, and of course, they're right outside the back door, and you can just smell it all coming right through the restaurant. And I'm like, oh, the band's rehearsing, so hold on, you gotta.
Don't mind that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But I'm glad to see it. Like, finally, some things happening, especially here in Missouri, because I didn't think it was going to happen, or at least not for a while. Like,
thought so too.
We're kind of always pretty late on that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm happy for there's the genuine medical uses of it. People
for sure.
Not happy or in pain or nauseous, they can actually now go and get it. It's legal, and you know what you're getting.
Yep.
So I like that aspect of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like everything else can be used or abused.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole opioid thing,
right?
Was just it's a medicine that in its proper use can be okay,
right?
But then it gets when there's big money involved,
That's kind of why I never I didn't understand why they wouldn't make it legal and open these dispensaries and stuff, because like you can tax it and then help the state out, like so. You think that they would want to, hey, we can make money on this? Like,
easy call.
Right. So,
it's not federally legal, but you still have to pay taxes on it. But you can't put the money in a bank because that's federal. It's a whole, it's a whole big thing to it. But anyway, can I request that Kenny play another song?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're here. We've got microphones and guitars sitting in our lap, so we're going to say no.
I just like your stuff.
Well, thanks, man. I love your stuff, too. There's what do you want to hear? Can I do one so lately I've been doing more songs that are not as ridiculously ridiculous.
Well put.
Yeah, and this is one of them. I don't know if it's worth. Here it is. It's called Honeymoon Honey. So here's the backstory. Is a buddy of mine. We were walking along one time, and he was talking about a friend of his whose wife died, and this was right at the beginning of COVID, and his wife had passed away a few years before, and he had asked him how long was it before you could be okay, and he said, if it happens, I'll let you know.
I remember you telling me about that. And
then several people that I knew had passed, couples that, and, one of the spouses would pass, and I go, yeah, that's a... So anyway, basically the whole song is written around that. Well, I guess the honeymoon's over. You're gone, and I'm all alone. The light at the end of the tunnel called you, and you had to go. And when they asked, how long did it take? till I could let you go. Well, I'll just say thank you for asking. If it happens, well, I'll let you know. That was some honeymoon, wasn't it, honey? It just... Oh, man, I blew that one way out of the water. I hope you can edit that.
Of course I edited.
Oh, I got into it there. When they ask, how long did it take till I could let you go? Well, I'll just say thank you for asking. If it happens, well, I'll let you know. That was some honeymoon, wasn't it, honey? It just went on and on. That was some honeymoon, honey. Now the honeymoon's over, you're gone. Well, I guess I'm doing alright. I'm getting by on my own. And everyone's being so nice. I'm putting on a good show. When they ask, how long did it take till I could let you go? Well, I'll just say thank you for asking. If it happens, well, I'll let you know. That was some honeymoon, wasn't it, honey? It just went on and on. Well, that was some honeymoon, honey. The honeymoon's over, you're gone. That was some honeymoon, wasn't it, honey? It just went on and on. Well, that was some honeymoon, honey. Now the honeymoon's over, you're gone. Oh, thank you.
And that goes to show you the range. It's not just funny songs. You can do others.
And I can screw them up and totally forget them right in the middle. Let's see you do that.
He's my friend. I get to be friends with him.
You're too kind.
Wow.
Way
Great
too
song.
kind.
Yeah. Well, we should probably mention you can come to see Kenny Lee Hall live.
Kenny Lee Hall. Live at
January 25th at the Focal Point in Maplewood, Missouri. Part of Songbird Cafe over there.
That'll be a good show. There's a couple of young cats from... One young guy from St. Louis, whose name escapes me right now. And Haley... Not Haley. Oh, gosh, what's her name? This is terrible. I just might...
So you and other people.
Yes, there'll be 3 other people with me, and I've been listening to their music a lot, and they're all good writers. It's just that my brain is completely gone out the window. Too much kombucha.
You're doing your homework, huh?
I mean, you talk about marijuana, and I can't think.
Talk about marijuana, he forgets. Look at
I don't have to smoke the stuff. I'm already dumb enough.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to make it in time for that, but I'll watch if there's somebody live streams it, or sometimes they broadcast it. I think they do film it now. They do film it and stream it.
Yeah.
So,
Tim Crosby. And
Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
No, not that Tim Crosby.
Clayton Jones and Taylor Steele.
Steele.
Taylor's great.
Yeah, Taylor's
very
pretty
talented.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So you can snag some tickets right now at songbird-stl.com.
Great place to see a show.
Yeah, Steve does a great job curating that. Always all kinds of great mixes of great blend of St. Louis and other regional songwriters and stuff. So he does a fine job putting that together.
And you might just get to meet somebody like Joe or Shane that you can hang out with for the rest of your life.
Right.
If you get lucky.
If you get lucky.
Yeah, man. So, come on out on January 25th and see that show. And Joe's got a couple here in town.
Got a couple. I don't know if this episode will be out by then, but this weekend, tomorrow, I know it won't be out by tomorrow, but I'm playing a songwriters round that Anthony J. Russo put together at Honky Tonk on Main Street with Isabel Gray, who I know from Nashville. She's back home for the holidays too. And then next week, Wednesday the 21st, we're having a Joe Bizelli and Friends Honky Tonk extravaganza with about 7 or 8 different people, one of them being Ken Hall. He's going to kick off the night.
I'm honored. Thank you.
It was an easy call. I kind of put Anthony in a little bit of a weird spot with that. It was my fault. He asked me to play that night from 8 to 11. And instead of asking him if I could invite a bunch of people to play, I just invited him to play and then found out they only really want country music there. I was like, none of these guys are really country. And he's like, yeah, I'm not sure. I was like, well, just tell them we've got a bunch of people interested in the Facebook event and there's going to be some great writers there. We can cancel it if you want to. He's like, no, just leave it. So I probably shouldn't have done that.
Ask for forgiveness.
I'd rather ask for forgiveness later than permission now. I do that a lot. But I think it's going to work out great. There's going to be a lot of people.
Just, can you just throw a couple of Fireball references in your songs and
trucks?
Oh
yeah. Well, I've been thinking about the songs that can happen there, to make it
a little more twang.
We can make it. We can country it up a little bit.
Sing all the regular songs, but with a southern draw.
Yeah.
I thought you said you
and
wanted
mention
a
truck.
phone.
Yeah. Fireball songs. Wow.
Yeah.
Mention Fireball.
I like Fireball.
That's
whiskey.
I do think it's cool. What it looks like they got a great space going on down there at Main Street Honky Tonk. So it's cool to see Russo getting his hands involved in that and getting to put that together and stuff. So helping them out. So
he's been around for a while and he's starting to. He went just full time doing music. So I'm really happy for him and proud of him for doing that.
Yeah, he played there last night as we were recording this, and as their official grand opening party. So.
You were there for that?
I didn't make it, but
you were in Monstera.
Yeah. But,
how do you go? How do you even get to all the places you go? You are just all over the place.
I'm really not nearly as much as I once was. I work evenings now, so that's really cut into my live entertainment. But I don't know. I like to party, so I get it's what's fun is like. On a good night out, like I can go to like a show at the pageant or something, or an earlier show, and then usually make it to Oyster Bar and catch or BB's or something. I catch a late set somewhere else, and so I can maximize my entertainment for the night. And it was also a lot of fun when we back in the day. This is going back a few years now. We used to have. We called it a Blues Triangle. You had BB's and Beale and Broadway Oyster Bar.
All right.
And I would just hop from all 3 venues, checking it out, and who's ever, supporting all of my friends down there. So, those were fun times. And, I know there's a new place opening up called Billy's, I think, is taking over the old Beale on Broadway location and revamping it into so hopefully that's going to be a cool place to hang out anyway, so yeah, that's how I do it. Like a lot of it would make, and the internet maybe would make it appear that I'm more busier than I really am sometimes. But I do like to get around a lot of shows and have a good time. But there's also a lot of nights where I don't do anything. So
I think it's good to have that balance.
All right.
Like I'll have a week where I go out every night, whether I'm playing it around or just going to support friends. And then the next week, it's like I have only like one thing that week. So it's just finding that balance is important.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, you wanna play them a song they might hear, or maybe something for next Wednesday?
I was debating on which one to do, and I figured it out while you were talking.
Yeah.
This is one started with Ken and took to Mr. Greg Wilson. That sharp or flat, Ken?
It's flat now.
It's flat. Took it down to Greg Wilson, and he has the unique ability to kind of make things more sexy, I guess. It started out as a funny song, but you'll see it's not very funny anymore. It's called Got a Thing. Oh, yeah. She's got a thing for sleeping till noon. She's got a thing about hitting that snooze. She's got a thing for clothes, that girl's got style. She got a thing about Destiny's Child. Say my name, say my name. She's got a thing for the beach and her toes in the sand. She's got a thing for ponytails in her baseball caps. There's a million things that make me love that girl. Neon purple sky in a black and white world. Home. She's got a thing for seeing the best in everybody she meets, and I can't believe that girl's got a thing for me. She's got a thing for sipping red wine. She's got a thing about candlelight. She got a thing for dancing with me so close. She got a thing about making me lose control. She's got a thing for sexy that drives me wild. When she whispers my name with that look in her eye. There's a million things that make me love that girl. She's a neon purple sky in a black and white world. Home. She's got a thing for seeing the best in everybody she meets, and I can't believe that girl's got a thing for me. Oh, whoa, whoa, she's got a thing for me. She's got a thing, got a thing, got a thing, got a thing for me. She's got a thing for sipping red wine. She's got a thing about candlelight. Nobody else in Nashville does that. I've looked. Nobody else does a live thing out. I was like, that's something I can do.
You know why nobody else does?
Because it's dumb.
Because they can't.
Oh, yes.
Nobody could do what you just did.
I saw the Dave Matthews Band do it to 13 people. And I was like, if he can fade out 13 people live, I can fade one person out live.
Man.
And so that's just one thing that's like my shtick.
You're like the Barry White of St. Charles County.
That song wouldn't happen without you, man. It started off as like a funny song about how his wife likes to leave, shoes by the door. Or
Ixnay on the at-ray out NK.
That's something that I made up. That's just a random example.
Yeah.
But that's the song never would have happened if it weren't for you.
Well, we have a lot of fun just bouncing stuff, throwing stuff back and forth.
We really do. Some are
he comes, Joe, come up with the line and just, hey, look, what do you think of this?
And then the next day he'll send me a song, like just everything of it. Yeah, he's good.
But I love the way you write, and
Don't start with me.
I was gonna say I love the way you write your grocery list out. But you didn't let me finish.
You're one of my favorite people.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, that was fun. That was,
I don't know if I played that one for you.
I don't think I've heard that, but that was definitely turned the sexy up. And
right.
I took my shirt off during that.
Yeah, he did. So, really quickly, actually. Yeah. First two lines, it was off. Yeah. Jesus, Jane. Good thing the camera's not on.
I like your tattoo, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Did you do that yourself?
Yep.
in the kitchen.
But yeah, man, that was sounded really good. It was and yeah, the live fade out was fun. Also, you probably won't see it since there is no visual, but it's a lot of fun to watch Joe sing these songs too.
Yes, it is.
When did you go cross-eyed for the look in your eye?
I mean, to me, like if I'm watching somebody play and they're just up there not really moving and not really getting into it, it's hard for me to get into it. So if I am in it, I think it's easier for other people to be. And I just let it flow. Like everything that I do is just how I naturally act. How when I play, I can't help it. But I stopped trying to fight it. Like I tried to be more professional for a little while down there, a very short time. And like, keep my eyes open and work the crowd. Everything. It just doesn't, that's not me. Yeah. I just have to do what I normally do when I'm playing. And that was it.
And it's good. It works.
I like it. It's easier because that's what comes natural.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, again, maybe you hear that one Wednesday night at Main Street Honky Tonk.
Definitely hear that one, and that's the one that is getting pitched recently.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm excited about that. Yeah, just a little glimmer of hope. Keep it going.
It's nice that you're writing with good people down there, and that people are wanting to write with you.
I'm really lucky to have the tribe I've got down there, and I worked hard to get them. Like when I find somebody that I really like, I would go and watch their songwriter rounds and just be there, and eventually start talking to them, and then end up writing with some of them. So, and I found a good group down there. You guys would love them. You met some of them.
Yeah, good people.
What so you were in this process now of possibly pitching that song to artist. Can you shine a little light on that process? Like how
I wish. Yeah. So what I thought it was is you just go down there and you get really good at writing, and then people find your songs. That's not how it works. Like the reason this one got pitched is because I know somebody that knows somebody that needs sexier type songs. He's got more traditional country sounding, and they want to bring that element in. Sure. It just so happened that they knew somebody that knew somebody. It's really who you know and who they know.
Right.
So eventually you just get lucky.
But I guess, did you and Greg record a version of it, and then or you guys?
He had a demo made of it. Yep, and that's what we.
So they're gonna, and then then they have a roster of artists, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And most of the time nothing happens, but every once in a while,
yeah.
Well, that's not the first. That's not the first song of yours that somebody cut. I mean, Float Trip, which is a freaking amazing song. Yeah. That's when I hear Float Trip, I think, well, this is what's wrong with the music industry. I don't like to say that a lot. That I don't like to be one of those guys who's always complaining about, the music industry, because it doesn't have an effect on me one way or the other at the level I'm doing stuff. But if that song should just be, it should get picked up and it should be a monster hit, and and probably could still happen.
You never know.
Yeah, you got to get them out there. What a great song!
Put them out as many as you can and as good as you can, and just kind of hope for the best. That's where I'm at right now. Just put out my good stuff. And actually, I think I've been thinking about toying with the idea of actually releasing some songs, because people just aren't going to cut them. So I might as well do it and get them out there.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to suggest, or ask you about that, about putting some of these out yourself, because one of my favorite things, I don't think it's on any of the platforms streaming or anything, but I bought Dallas Davidson did a album a couple of years back, and it's this collection of songs that he wrote or co-wrote, and they're all hits. The guy's a freak. I don't know how he does it, but but it's all these. But you know all these songs because they've been cut by other artists. But I really love his original versions of these songs because they've all been interpreted a little bit differently. But most of them are just him and acoustic guitar, the way he wrote them and stuff. And
that's what I love, is the rawness of seeing the person who wrote it play. I went to a benefit not too long ago, and the guy that wrote Walk Away Joe, which I think Trisha Yearwood did, I got to see him play it the way that he wrote it. And then one time at a songwriting retreat I was at, which was at the Bluebird, I got to see the two guys that wrote The House That Built Me play their version of it. One in the morning, and then we went to lunch, and the other guy that wrote it played his way. And just the little tiny differences between what they did and what the artist did.
Right.
That was just so cool.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I nerd out on. Like, you know, just like the different way an artist will tweak even just one phrasing or whatever, a chord, or, you know, however they did, whatever they decided to change it up. But yeah, it's always a fun way to see how, especially even as covers and stuff or whatever, somebody, however they decide to interpret that another artist's material and stuff. So
yeah, that was one of the best music days of my life. And actually, it wasn't House of Build Me. It was I Can't Make You Love Me If You Don't. Bonnie Raitt did it, and they each played their own version of that, and it was just so cool to see the little differences.
Yeah.
Like he liked the phrasing a little bit better this way, and then the other writer kept it the other way. I don't know. I just thought that was so awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I imagine, much like in Nashville, those kind of like songwriter retreats and everything, like these things are just in rounds and everything. They're all just like great networking just to constantly keep, putting your name out there and collecting business cards and everything else. Like
Nashville handshake.
All right. Yeah.
Trading business cards.
Yeah.
Huh. Never heard that one.
But that's what I always joke about doing this podcast. Like that's really the excuse for it is just it's networking. You know, it gets me out. It's a lot easier to ask people to hang out with you when you have a show instead of just being like, hey, you want to sit and talk for an hour? Like
I would do that with you anyway.
Well,
I think I might have once.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But
we went to Pizza Ranch once.
Oh yeah. We may have shared a breadstick
together at the same time.
It was romantic.
Like Lady and the Tramp. Dibs on Lady.
Do I have a puzzled look on my face? I can explain it. Well, and plus you get snack. I mean, when you have friends like Joe, they bring you snacks.
Snacked on, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would be, chowing down, but I don't know that would make great radio.
Getting crumbs on your microphone.
Yeah. Joe's over here playing some sexy song, and I'm just, chewing on pistachios.
Dunkaroo frosting dripping down your face.
Right.
You think we might have time for one more?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you guys, I know Kenny's kind of been accompanying a little bit there on guitar, but do you guys have anything you do together? No.
We're not that good.
No, we hang out.
That'd be cool. Luckily, he knows how to play lead. And
I really don't. I mean, I'm working on it.
He fakes it.
Yeah.
I decided that I was going to learn how to. There's things that I haven't done on the guitar, like since I've been playing for however long, and I went, you know what? I don't. This is going to sound. I'm just going to expose myself. Not expose myself, but I'm going to out myself on the on my guitar's lack of skills. But I've never actually learned where every note on the fretboard is.
Same.
And a lot of guys don't. That's not a shameful thing. I mean, a lot of guys can still do, but I just decided that I'm going to do that, and so I've taken it upon myself to like bone knuckle practice every day, and I'm actually getting it. And for a guy who's 66 years old to learn a new trick, it feels pretty good.
I am so glad to hear that. When you figure it out, will you teach me?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I need help.
Snacks. Bring snacks.
Snacks, kombucha, coffee.
That's it. Bring the snacks, buddy.
You know which one I would love to hear. My all-time favorite, if you don't mind.
Which is, okay. You know what? Yeah, because it's you. Yes. If I can remember it. I'll muff this one in the middle,
When
too.
I first heard this song...
Are those all songs? Each one of those?
Yeah, and I have them written down because I can't remember them. That's just it.
Ken's got a stack of about 60 half sheets of paper.
All right.
With little notes written on them, tears in them,
They've been
coffee stains on them.
Kombucha.
They've been around kombucha. Let me look for it, and you can keep the chat going there.
Do you
find it?
So I mean, that's when you're seeing a physical representation of your songs like that, like, what do you think? I mean, is that about all of them, or do you think more?
No, this is the only ones that I will do publicly.
Right.
Well, I write. Like I said, I love to write, and so I'll write a song, and people will go, I say, I can't remember. Like you heard me, absolutely blow that song in the middle of it. And people say, well, how does that happen? Because you wrote this song. And I go, yeah, but I don't. I write it and then move on, and I might play it a bunch, but I can't remember my kid. I'm gonna out myself again. I can't remember my kids' birthdays half the time. And
you were there, probably.
Probably. Okay. I'll do this from before. So here's the backstory on this song.
Great song.
I was down in Nashville one time, and not for anything musical for me. I think I did this on the last podcast, actually, so I probably told the same repetitive story. But anyway, I was on the front porch of a little place in East Nashville. We were walking around we were picking up my daughter, who was, she wrote a whole video and produced it for the Flaming Lips.
Oh, nice.
And it was so after the video was, and what's that guy's name? Ben Folds. And so from LA, they flew her to Nashville to go to the big festival in Franklin, Bonnaroo. And so the guy that the television producer guy who helped her do this video, was down there, and we were going to meet them, and then she was going to come back home with us for a visit and then fly back to LA. Anyway, so Kim and I are walking around before we go to the restaurant to meet them, and I run into these guys on the front porch of a little shop. I'm talking to them, and it turns out it was the guys from Old Crow Medicine Show. And so we're just chatting, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so I was, walking around going, yeah, that was all right, And I go to park the car. Well, she goes in the restaurant. I go in the restaurant, and she's standing in there with a big grin on her face in the foyer. And I go, well, what are you smiling about? And she said,
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Yeah, I've told the story 100 times.
I love it.
Matt Damon held the door for me. Oh, that's awesome. And then we go in and, had dinner with her television writing friend. And it was, anyway, on the way home, they fell asleep. And I thought, that was cool. It just kept getting better. If we'd have stayed longer, I might have eventually met Jesus. And then what would I say? Something stupid.
And that's what sparked the idea for that.
And this is the only song I ever wrote while I was driving.
It's a great time for me. I think it's the forward momentum, things just come out.
Yes, that is true. And I've heard other people say that too, that while you're, and I found that to be, I'd pull over and, sing a little line into my phone. And then by the time I was home, I actually had it. So, yeah.
So glad you did.
Thank you. It's called Jesus, How's Your Mom? Well, I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus. I'd ask how's Mom was doing these days. And I'd ask if he still did carpenter stuff like a hobby, just for something to do. We could go grab a bite if he said he was hungry. I'd say, hey, this one's on me. Now I'd order some fish and a small loaf of bread and drink wine like we was getting it free. And I might even mention that my shoulder'd been hurting, how much I missed his old man. I try not to stare at the scars on his head, all the holes in his side and his hands. Yeah, I know if I met him, it'd leave an impression, but I don't think I'd impress him. I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, 'cause I ain't good at making amends. We might go fishing or just walk down the creek. I kind of leave that up to him. I might stay dry and just wait on the shore if he wants to go for a swim. And I might take him round to meet all my friends if he don't yet know who they are. But my Chevy's broke down, so maybe I'd ask, hey, you ever laid hands on a car? Yeah, I know if I met him, he'd leave an impression, but I don't think I'd impress him. I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, 'cause I ain't good at making amends. My whole world would be different. This I know. If I could get close enough just to touch the edge of his coat. And I hope he don't notice that my sandals are dusty. I never can get them quite clean. Yeah, I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, least I think, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I know if I met him, he'd leave an impression, but I don't think I would impress him. I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, 'cause I ain't good at making amends. Oh yeah, I think that I wish I could hang out with Jesus, 'cause I ain't good at making amends.
I guess we do perform.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Ken, I have heard thousands of songs since I moved down there. None of them even come close.
Well,
I'm
thanks,
serious,
Joe.
man.
I
That
appreciate
is
how well you lied to
so
me.
beautiful and such a well crafted song. It makes me almost sick
Well, thanks, buddy.
in a good way. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I do have a soft spot for those kind of talking songs like that. Like there's I don't know. There's we don't this kind of, we're kind of like away from that, I guess, a little bit in that generation of like classic country songs where they just kind of it's the storytelling like that, and where it's not really, you know, anything flashy, just some great lyrics and talking to you like that, and it's like there's something you know, really peaceful and you know, at home in those, you know, that like that. So
Couldn't agree more. And the way you blend that with the singing too, perfectly. They just go in and out.
Well, thank you.
Just how it should.
Speaking of guys who have skill sets, listening to the podcast and the questions that Shane asks and the comments that he makes, it's pretty epic. You come up with some really good
thanks,
questions, and you know how. The amazing thing about it is that you have to do that so often. You know, how could you even think of a variety of, you know, you watch people who do interviews and sometimes they ask the same old questions, but you have comments that show that you're really listening.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I do listen. I am a fan. You know, I try to be. I feel like there's. I imagine you guys probably go through the same thing. Anybody that's creative, I feel like we're always our own worst critic and stuff. But especially when I'm in charge of editing the show, I'm like, man, why did I say that? You know, all the other dumb stuff I hear, I'm like, you know, but you know, just like anything else, you know, repetition, I think you get better. Like after 1,000 of these, I'm starting
Starting to get the hang of it.
starting to, you know, figure it out a little bit. But, you know, it's the same thing with you guys writing songs. It takes maybe the first, you know, like Kenny said, he's got a stack he doesn't even want to play live or whatever, you know, making that joke. But that's the thing, you know, we all start somewhere. You gotta work through it to where you get to where you something you're proud of. And so I finally feel like of late, I'm, you know, I do feel like people that came on the show in the early days, like that whenever they come back, I always want to like offer them you know, thank you and an apology, like, you know, but thanks for giving me somewhere to start, because like, you know, I know like they were doing me a favor, you know, at the time, and so, but
now you got people asking to be on your podcast like me. Like, Shane, please come
I probably told this story before, but which is a thing that you do when you get to my age and your kids, you start telling a story and they're like, you know, they'll finish the story in the middle. But I was at Joe's Cafe one time, and John what's John's last name? The guy that
Parker?
John Parker, yeah. I said, somebody from the stage, a guy I know who was playing that night, told John Parker from the stage, which was kind of embarrassing, you should let this guy play here because you would love his songs. And so he goes, go over there and talk to John. So I go over and I talk to John, and he's like, he said, have you ever been on Shane's podcast, Shane Presley's podcast? And I said, no, I haven't. And he goes, yeah, well, let me know once you have.
Whoa.
He said, that's how I gauge whether people are actually doing things in the scene.
You're the gauge, just so you know. People know who you are. It's working.
Yeah.
And I love that you put out a list of who's playing where. No one else does that in St. Louis. People need that. So
sometimes I look on there to see where I'm playing.
I guess I'm off tonight. Or I better get ready.
Yeah.
It is pretty fun to watch and see the comments that people make.
Oh, I love that.
Thanking you and just people who chime in to go, it's a great thing that you're doing, and it is.
And I'll never forget, I got #1 spot one time, and I was just
Did you really?
yeah, that made me feel, even though it had nothing to do with who was playing anywhere or anything like that. I just so happened to be the first one he put, but it made me feel like a king.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know. I'm glad people get and do enjoy that. It's kind of crazy for me too, looking back on all that, because, and much like the show in the sense, when I started doing that list, it was only like 3 or 4
5 people
on things like that on a Friday night, and then to see like hitting 50 or 60 on a Friday, Saturday night, like is pretty wild at how far my own personal networking is like stretched out across the city. But not that that wasn't going on then, but I do also think that we have had newer venues. We've had more places popping up, and we've have people are more. There's a lot more going on in our St. Louis music today. But I think a lot of that's just me learning more of it too. But there is also just cool to see more people involved and wanting to be a part of St. Louis, what we have going on here. So we have a lot more larger venues for these acts coming through, and so it's cool to see. It's a
beautiful thing.
Yeah. So
people need it. So thank you for doing that.
Well, you're welcome, Joe. Do it for you.
Well, I'm thanking you on behalf of the whole city.
All right.
Are you gonna play us another one?
I'd love to.
Can I make a request?
Sure.
Can you?
I'm not gonna play it, but I was gonna do the one that we kind of did.
You do whatever you want. I'll request when it's just you and me. Sometime I'll request the one I want to hear.
Whoops. Oh, I'm going to start that over. Edit that out, Shane.
I don't know how to.
It's called Find Your Way. You'll find your way, no matter what they say. Stumbling down, falling round, honey, that's okay. You find your way, but don't wait another day. There's no one will find it for you. Sister, I implore you, the world will not ignore you. Find your way. Lost but not alone. Lost but not alone. Look around, see everyone searching for a home. Lost but not alone. Lost but not alone. Someone is searching for you. They know what you're going through. They have been there too. You'll find your way. 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 Lost but not alone. It's okay not knowing. You just keep on going till you find your way. Look around, You head up off the ground. You might lose it now and then. But look how much you found. Look around, find a smile, lose a frown. There's someone searching for you. True love will restore you. The light will shine the more you find your way. You'll find your way. You'll find your way. You'll find your way. You'll find your way. Lost and not alone. It's okay not knowing. You just keep on going till you find your way. The all-new Jeep Wrangler, find your way. I'm telling you, we gotta sell it. Or the all-new Nissan Pathfinder, find your way. Whoever pays more. I'm telling you, I'm gonna sell that one and split it with you.
You take it. Yeah. I got so much money, I don't know what to do with it.
Take it with you to the bank. Yeah, we started that one together and just kind of, it was one of our co-writes.
We've written some songs and agreed on, hey, yeah, those lyrics, that all works. And then we do them and I go, well, you do it that way.
Yeah.
And I'll do this way. And it works. Yeah.
I like our arrangement.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah, man.
I was driving up in Illinois one time. I was going to Chicago to see my daughter or something, and I get a phone call, and it's Joe just saying, "Hey man, I was just thinking about you." You know, and that's the cool stuff.
It's true, I was.
That was early on in our...
I would never make that up.
By nature, you can't make that up. When you call someone to tell them you were thinking about them, unless you had a reminder set in your phone or something that said,
Oh, he's on to me. No,
Call Ken
and tell him you love him.
yeah.
Once repeats every
Siri,
quarter.
send Ken a message. Yeah. I always thought that would be a great business model to have, where guys would register with you, and you would send their wife a personalized card or gift at that,
on like an anniversary or a birthday.
or at least remind them.
Or just random. You could select different packages.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You might be onto something there.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dibs.
You got it. Because apparently you're already pretty good at it. You got to start.
Hey, I never knew that.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
What, so, I don't know. I've been thinking about songwriting a lot more recently. Like, I've always been very passionate about it as a fan. And I don't know. Maybe this is where it started for you guys too. Like, but something's been like telling me to do it more.
For you to do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like,
absolutely.
and
Fight it.
Yeah.
Don't fight
So I've been like thinking about it a lot more, and I'm just like, so maybe I just need to buckle down and do it. And I did. I mean, I've talked about it, but I did do some creative writing, like poems, and I wrote for school paper, and I mean that's
Nice.
different writing, but still writing. And but that's like I did some of that stuff when I was in like high school and things, but I haven't really, done much with anything in the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was saying all this for is like, if you guys had any piece of advice, or maybe some advice that somebody gave you starting out, what anybody else that's aspiring to be a songwriter or an artist, is there anything you want to add to some advice?
I know mine, if you want to go first.
Well, I would say write whatever it is that's on your heart, or, you can, that's my dog. You can keep a notebook with you. You see all kinds of little notebooks all over the desk there, and you get an idea or a sound or a word, or somebody says something, and you write it down and think about it. And and write about anything, and just get it out there. Get it out, and then you can adjust it later, but the first time it's going through your head, get it down. Not rhyming, not sounding good, not whatever, just get it down. There's a young girl who comes to the open mic at the Wolf, and she was writing some songs, and she said one night she got up And I did a song called Worm Farm, which is just the silliest song about worms not having a gender, and and it was just a
I
weird.
think they're hermaphrodites.
Yeah. It's 2 boys, 2 girls. As long as they're getting along, it doesn't matter. And so anyway, I did that song. The next week, she played her first original song, and she said, "I always thought you had to write, like real deep stuff." And then Kenny did the Worm Farm song, and so she wrote a song about cheese. And it was great.
How did that make you feel?
Oh man, I thought we become fast friends, and then she started challenging me to write. Hey, here's the prompt for this week, and we would bounce stuff back and forth. And her whole family, I got to meet them, and they're just wonderful people. And Abby, shout out to you if you ever listen to this. But she's a great kid. But the point of that being is you write whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't. I mean, I got a pile of stuff that I don't like. You got to get those out of the way. It's like onions, and then there's one in there, you might write 10 or 15 or 20 or whatever, and then you get to the one and you're like, yeah, that one actually works. That'd be mine.
I was just thinking the old Ray Wiley Hubbard Snake Farm. I was just thinking Worm Farm just sounds nasty. Worm Farm pretty much is.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's start to it. Yeah. And he just gets something like that.
Yeah.
There's no wrong, there's been a couple quotes I've heard down in Nashville that I like. One of them was, I forgot who said it. There's 5,000 ways to write a song. Pick one.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, I had, the first time me going to the Bluebird and seeing guys that had written hit songs for Kenny Chesney and Jason Aldean. These are heavy hitter writers that music paid for their life.
Right.
And I went up to one of them afterwards and I was like, you got any advice for somebody that's just starting out? And he goes, well, he turns to the other guy. He's like, what do you think? Write about 100 songs? I was like, no. He's like, 90. About 90. He goes, write about 90 bad songs, and then you'll get the hang of it.
Yeah.
You just have to get that, start off with the rough ones. And then I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, you have to get... Oh, and then Ed Sheeran had a really good thing. He's like, when you start writing a song, it's like turning on a faucet. And sometimes dirty water comes out. Even if it's dirty, let it all the way out and finish that song.
Yeah.
So that when you start the valve the next time, it's clean. You got to let all that stuff out. So that would be my advice. It's okay to write bad ones at first.
Yeah.
I've got a ton of them. Probably more of them than my good ones. So I hope you do too, man.
How many songs do you think you're at about now?
I've honestly lost count. Hundreds, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think like Kenny said about a line. Somebody says something and whatever. I've been noticing that happening to me more.
Be open to that too. Try to listen to that.
Right. Somebody, and that's I feel that's a big country thing. I've noticed. I've noticed that trend for a long time. If somebody says something. It just catches your ear. Write that down. I have what I call a hook book. Right. I stole that term. Yeah. But it's a document with 200 song titles. They're not all good, but they're all titles. Yeah. They're all ideas. I'm just I need to hang out with an old man more where that just speaks in hooks. I'm like,
I'm an old man. Right, here's the hey, now seriously, if you have an idea, you have one thing that you hear, text it to me. Yeah. And I will write, we'll develop it.
Right.
This would be a great person to start off, just to kind of guide in a songwriting.
Yeah. Because, you listen. You're a good listener. Yeah. And then that's where you hear stuff. You'll hear stuff.
So, here's a story for you. I was, maybe I'll cut it because this is, so nobody steals our idea. Yeah. But, so... just yesterday, this is why it was all fresh on the mind. Mm-hmm. Just yesterday, I was listening to Anthony Russo, as mentioned before, on Beyond FM.
Yep.
And Anthony mentioned writing a song called Road Dog Blues, and he wrote it for all the crew. That helped do all the stuff.
The lighting guys, the sound guys, everything,
all that. He was talking about them, but there was a line he said, he goes, anybody that's ever spent Thanksgiving in a comfort inn. And I'm like, hey, wait a second. I was like, that sounds like a country song right there. And then I was thinking of for me, That's one of my like favorite around holiday songs around is Robert Earl Keen's "Merry Christmas from the Family," and I was just like, it'd be kind of funny to like something in that take of like a country song, but about spending Thanksgiving in a comfort inn and stuff, like kind of thing. So I was
great
like,
idea. He's made much better songs for much less ideas. Trust me.
So but it was the same thing. Like that, really, the idea just spurred from him saying that one line, and I'm like, so I don't know. I'm feeling there's more of that happening more frequently right now for me, and I'm like, maybe I need to start doing something with this. And
I'm feeling uneasy in the comfort inn.
It's already started.
I'd like to stay or come back again. It won't be that bad.
You can't help it.
We'll
It just happens.
yeah.
And what a great segue to that new song you showed me.
Oh, okay. If we got time, and actually,
One
then I'm
more.
gonna probably
Last one. Okay, last song. We're going to end it on a good note. We'll have Ken play the last song.
All right, I
Thank
wrote
you
this
again, Shane.
I don't write dark, as Joe said. It was dark, but it's got an element of darkness to
It's a
it.
new chapter, a new division of
It
your
is a new
songwriting,
thing.
and I think it's beautiful.
It's a whine and bitching,
And I love you.
not feeling good song. But so I just wrote it, and here's it. I'm just going to do it. And it's going to come out how it's going to come out. Now let's see. We'll start off like this. I can sing this Christmas song since you've been gone. Ain't nothing wrong. I ain't sad and I ain't blue and I ain't getting nothing for you. I don't care if Christmas ain't white. I'm looking forward to a silent night, and I'm taking down that mistletoe. I'm put it in my back pocket just so you know where you can kiss me. You can kiss me. Merry Christmas. You can kiss me goodbye. Oh, I can celebrate alone, just me and wise men on our own. But who's gonna keep you company there beneath your Christmas tree? Oh, when you're drunk and lying there in your naughty underwear, oh, think about that mistletoe in my back pocket, and then you'll know where you can kiss me. You can kiss me. Merry Christmas. Goodbye. And now it's time to spread good cheer, the reason for the season's here. But I've been cheering all along because I've got this Christmas song. Christmas might be sad sometimes, but I'm alright, yeah, I'm doing fine. I got the very best gift of all. When you told me not to call, now you can kiss me. Merry Christmas. You can kiss me. Merry Christmas. Goodbye. Oh, well, there you go.
Eat Your Heart out, Mariah Carey.
It wasn't what you, I mean, it's a different type of Christmas song.
It's a different
And I
kind of
love
Christmas.
that. I love everything about you.
That's one of my favorite things about songwriting too. Like the kind of switch on it. Like when the chorus itself is pretty sweet. The "You Can Kiss Me" and stuff, but it's the whole build up in the in the verses that where you can kiss.
It's genius.
Yeah,
See, it's all in there inside of you,
Right.
Shane, just waiting to come out. All you got to do is start letting it out, man.
Yeah.
And that can be a really good form of release, especially on like things that are emotional and heavy. It can be a great way to unload some of that on the paper I found. So I hope you do, man.
Yeah.
Anything I can help in any way, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, maybe we'll have to co-write someday.
I would absolutely love that.
All three of us.
Yep.
We'll pen some hits.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Pen some hits.
Yep. Well, thank you guys. And again, if you are listening and in the St. Louis area, please come see these guys live or catch Joe in Nashville when you can. And but we got again January 25th at Songbird Cafe with Kenny, and you can see Joe and friends Wednesday the 21st at Main Street Honky Tonk in St. Charles. And yeah, man.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate it, buddy.
Bye, everybody.